this is Dr. Barry Trunk, and I wanted to make a short video to my students in MCC 503, Introductory Statistics. Don't usually make videos, but I thought it might be nice just to get to talk with you a little bit, let you see kind of where I hang out and kind of what I'm all about, and once again invite you to call or write or text and let me know if you ever have any questions about the class or anything that you are unsure about. First of all, some of you might have noticed the subtle signs that I'm a Beatle maniac. I am wearing my Beatles Let It Be shirt. I am drinking from my Beatles glass. You might see that there's a Beatles poster behind me, and you might have noticed that this throw rug on my chair is actually a Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. So I grew up in the 60s. I do consider myself to be an amateur musician, and I actually, when I'm not teaching statistics, play music at different restaurants and coffee shops and largely at assisted living centers, and it gives me a lot of enjoyment to watch elderly people hear my music that reminds them of the music of the day when they were growing up, and it's just a very nice, enjoyable activity that I really kind of get off on. I was born in Los Angeles, California, so I am a West Coast individual. I went to UCLA and I went to Cal State Long Beach studying psychology. Got tired of Southern California lifestyle, and for my doctoral degree I flew out and spent 4 years in Columbus, Ohio at the Ohio State University, and got my PhD in developmental psychology and statistics. And I have been teaching courses in psychology from beginning freshman to doctoral research courses for quite a long time now. And I understand that statistics is not everybody's cup of tea. It does have kind of connotations of mathematics and calculations and things like that. But hopefully you can see so far from what we've done that a lot of our work is just understanding the role of statistics, especially in reading research reports that pertain to topics that are relevant to you who are studying to be professional counselors. The days where people would get a research report, they would read the abstract, look at the introduction, skip past the methods and the statistics and the results and kind of go to the discussion are largely over. It's now expected that master's and PhD level students in counseling psychology will be at least conversant with statistics. This doesn't mean that you have to know how to calculate statistics, and probably the majority will not be actually using statistical software unless you are perhaps planning to go to graduate school and write a doctoral degree. Then you will if you're doing a quantitative study. But I don't want you to kind of worry about what may be coming up in terms of our course, because most of the calculations that we will be doing are, I'm telling you guys, really easy. All you need is a little $5 calculator from Walmart, and if you can add, subtract, multiply, divide, and take a square root, you're good to go. So please don't stress out. And again, if you're ever not sure of something, I'm a very approachable kind of guy. I know that statistics can generate some anxiety. Some of you are aware that I've written 3 books, and one of them happens to be about statistics anxiety. So I get it, and especially with a graduate course, and maybe super especially with it being a online course where we're not actually interacting face to face. By the way, I do live in Sioux City, Iowa, and that's not too far from where some of you guys may be hanging out. And I truly do invite you that if you're ever up this way north in Sioux City, give me a call. We'll get together, have a cup of coffee, say hello, something like that, so that we can maybe make it just a little bit more interactive if you want to. The last thing I want to talk about a little bit with you guys is the probe assignments. This is another anxiety generating topic because it says in the syllabus that you do have to get 80% or more to pass the class, and that is true. Even if you've gotten all your points on your discussions and your checkpoints and all that good stuff, if you don't get 80% on the probe assignment, you will need to retake the class. Now, here's the bottom line. This hardly ever happens. I would say 999 times out of 1,000 people are going to pass their probe assignment if they put the proper amount of time and effort into it. One thing that you will find in graduate school is that it's really hard not to start early. What you don't want to do is procrastinate. Of course, you don't want to do that hardly at all. It's never really helpful. But especially for the probe assignment, we are kind of gently moving you along with thinking about a topic, with giving you sample papers, with giving you some information, in the Bellevue website. But again, keep in mind that the purpose of this paper is not to discuss a mental illness. It's to compare 2 or more treatments for a mental illness that you have proposed. We try to dissuade you from personality disorders because treatment options for those are limited and very hard to really validate that they're effective. So it's best to stick to things like anxiety and depression, phobia, addiction disorders, things of that nature. And so your probe paper, which will be maybe of actual content about 10 pages, not counting the title page, the abstract, and the references. How many references do you need? I would say between 5 and 10 are perfectly fine. How recent should they be? As recent as you can make it, but if you've got a reference that's historically interesting or historically fundamental, you should use it. So if you're talking about behavior modification, you may want to reference B.F. Skinner, or you may want to reference Thorndike, who did work back in 1920 or so, just to give credence to the people that generated or were the impetus for this particular form of treatment. But in general, unless it's a really major person like Wolpe for systematic desensitization or something along those lines, then you probably want to use things that are within, I would say, about 10 years or so. If you're not sure, let me know and we can discuss it together. So I hope that you've enjoyed this little introduction. Let me know, please, if you have. And I will see you guys in class. Take care.